sky. Well, you cry out and you don't know why. Come on now, let your feet fly. Come on now, let's go for a ride. Come on now, let your feet fly. Oh, let it fly. Come on.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the Red Couch. Today, we got Kris The Viking sitting on the couch.
How's it going?
We're having some pizza.
We're having some pizza.
Yeah, after the pillaging.
And nobody wants any beer because nobody wants any beer.
Yeah.
There you go. We're sitting back and ignoring that.
Right.
Yeah.
We need a break in the system.
Yeah.
So today, we're going to talk to Kris about barbering, DJing,
Rapping.
rapping,
I can't DJ.
and kicking the hell out of people.
Kicking the living crap out of people.
Wow.
Yeah. Muay Thai, baby.
Muay Thai. Very
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
So
Where should we start?
I think we should start first with the rap, and then we'll
Sure. Yeah.
get to the Muay Thai.
That's
So it's like sounds like we're having a dinner. Like,
Yeah. Have a rap, have a Mai Tai.
all of that. All of that.
I wasn't clicking for me at first, and then you said the Muay Thai thing.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, rap is, it's always been a big part of my life. I've always been into rap, but I've only just recently started getting into being a rapper.
Right.
I think it was, I got this buddy of mine who's just recently put out an album, and he changed how I thought about it. As I always thought rap is like, it's music, but it's so related to a lifestyle, right? I didn't really think of it as like an artistry until I started speaking to this guy. And then I thought about how I formulated lyrics and put them to music. And I was like, this really is artistic. And then I started really getting a passion for it and really starting to put more work into it. And so I've been trying to work on putting out an album, trying to find producers and studios and things like that can be difficult.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
I think I'm pushing probably 20 or 25 songs done now.
Dude.
Yeah, and that's I've only really been doing it for maybe about a year.
Music, lyrics, everything.
Yeah, well, the lyrics I've been writing for a long time. Nothing, like I said, I didn't take it seriously or do it consistently. But having that change in perspective, that now I've been really doing it consistently. But I remember I had a notebook from high school when I was like 16 that had pages of just lyrics that I'd written for rap songs. None of it was any good. it was all crap, but like any skill set, takes time to hone and polish.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, like.
Who do you like?
Oh, these days it's tough, man. I'm I guess a little old school for rap, so I'm not too fond on many of the new guys, but I'm always huge on the classics. You know, Biggie, Nas, Tupac, those guys.
Mm-hmm.
I think I was huge on DMX. I was super bummed when he died. Even more so when I found out it was more related to COVID than it was to drugs. I always thought DMX would go out on drugs. I always thought it would be the drugs. I thought for sure it was going to be the drugs that got him. But so that was pretty sad. But I think some of the lesser known guys that I really like, one of them, Black Rob, who unfortunately, same thing, COVID took him out. Black Rob from New York was a really talented guy. I'm the lyrics guy. I don't care for that mumbly shit. Like I want to be able to listen to a song.
Yeah.
And then the third time I listened to it, catch something that was like, oh fuck, I didn't even hear that.
Yeah.
You know, like the intricacies of putting puzzles into the poem. You know what I mean? That's what I really like about rap. And then formulating it and putting a song together. You know what I mean? And not only just making the words fit that rhyme within a certain scale, so many bars, but to have it like hit on the beat.
On the cadence and all that.
That too.
Right.
That's what I'm really working on now is the cadence, because I've become really comfortable and confident in my writing. I think some of the stuff I've written is really good, and then I'll record it and I'll listen back. I'm like, there's no fucking emotion there.
Mhm.
There's no, like you said, cadence. There's no.
Yeah,
Some
you're
of
not
the
feeling
stuff-
it.
Yeah. It's just me speaking words,
Right.
right? There's got to be emotion behind it. You've got to express where those words are coming from and why.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's got to come out like that.
Some of the stuff Jagger listens to, like Playboy Cardi and Chief Keef and stuff like that. And initially, I was like, "Come on, man,"
Mm-hmm.
and then I was like, "Oh,
Yeah.
okay."
No.
And he's like, "Oh no," and he's telling me, "Oh, these are stories about their lives, everyday lives," and,
Yeah.
and like I was like, "Oh, what's this big list of dudes? Like, what's that? All his homies?"
Yeah.
It's like all his dead homies.
Yeah.
Like, oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, that stuff, and that stuff too, man, is like that stuff that those guys are listening, younger dudes. That stuff is so punk rock.
Uh-huh.
Like it's next level.
Yeah,
Me and my buddy, Mike Campitelli from Super Cat Tattoo, check him out. Anyway, his son and my son are homies,
Yeah.
and me and Mike were talking about the stuff those guys are into, and both of us are just like, that's punk rock, man.
Yeah.
It's like they're wearing leather jackets.
Yeah.
Right? They got they've also got $500,000 worth of diamonds.
Diamond
Easily.
chains,
Yeah.
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 Which is
I don't know.
a little
I don't know if I'd be walking around with that.
different than punk rock, maybe?
Yeah, a little bit. Just a touch. Kind of the exact opposite.
Yeah. But it's the same idea, like, it's all this,
Yeah,
right? It's
exactly.
all, no
No authority,
It's
yeah.
all full revolt, man.
Mhm.
Which obviously, I think that's awesome.
Very cool.
Suits. Yeah.
Yeah. When,
I think that's the main thing that attracted to me to hip hop was I was kind of living that life. I related to it.
right.
Running the streets at night, doing things I shouldn't be doing, hanging out with people I shouldn't be hanging out with.
Right.
So I related to it.
Of course. Yeah.
I didn't realize actually how messed up my childhood was growing up in like a neighborhood like that until
Where about did you grow up?
I was in Ottawa.
Oh, in Ottawa.
Yeah,
Okay.
in a neighborhood. We always hung out in a neighborhood called Bayshore. They call it Akora Village now because they're trying to gentrify it.
Okay.
It's funny actually because there's a sign when you go in on the hill next to one of the apartment buildings. It says Bayshore through the neighborhood or whatever. So they wanted to change the image of the neighborhood. So they changed it to Akora Village, and they didn't even take the Bayshore sign down. They just put the fucking Akora Village sign in front of it.
Right.
Like, you guys aren't even trying to make it better. You're just fucking slapping a
just
band-aid on it.
Yeah, here's an idea. Let's just do that.
Yeah,
Not
yeah.
It's
worry
like
about
that sign, they had a sign over there and it said East Village, and somebody just painted on it, it has a name, Hastings Sunrise. It is what it is already.
it. Yeah.
But
Try to make it cooler.
growing up in that neighborhood, it's Canada, so it's not super, super bad, but there's guns and drugs. I remember
Sure.
one of my buddies got jumped and robbed by these guys from the neighborhood next to ours, and the next week those two guys were shot dead.
Yeah.
It had nothing to do with us. That's just the way
That's
it
just
was.
the way it is.
That's just the way it was.
Yeah.
We would go to the corner store at night. And I think at this point, I was driving, so at this point we were probably going there for cigarettes, but it wasn't even late. It was like maybe 10 or 11 o'clock. I get out of the car, I close the door. Next thing I know, my car's surrounded by goons. They're asking me to pay for parking. Like, you're not from the neighborhood, you gotta pay for parking. I'm like, bro, I grew up here. Like, I know who you are.
Yeah.
You're the guy who stabbed the guy in the head with the fork at last year's festival at the carnival.
Yeah.
Like, I know who, like, he literally, this guy who's sticking me up, he'd ran up on a guy in the neighborhood carnival and stabbed him in the head with a fork.
Oh.
Left the fork in his head and then ran off.
I think a lot of that stuff too is like small town stuff and everything is, you know what I mean? What are you gonna do? What are kids gonna do, man?
No.
It's like our homies grew up in North Van, the brothers, right?
Yeah.
It's like Lynn Valley, which it was different then, certainly.
Yeah.
But you think of Lynn Valley and you're like, right? So nice.
Yeah.
But it wasn't, man. It was brutal.
Yeah.
It was brutal over there. I remember too, you must remember too, Joe, like 30 years ago or 40 years ago or whatever, like North Van, that was just more of East Van. Like it wasn't
Some of
wasn't
it
nice,
was, yeah.
right?
Yeah, some of it was. It depends where you were, right?
Yeah, I guess, yeah.
Just like any neighborhood, right?
I was just
Certain
gonna say
neighborhoods
that.
are nicer than others, and then there's some that are really bad, right? Yeah.
I think in any neighborhood you can find an ugly part. You just gotta find the right person.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
get some
yeah,
ugly
yeah,
shit in,
yeah,
in
yeah,
really
yeah.
nice neighborhoods.
I mean, there's some, you know, like North Van, like you say, like, you know, some of it's really nice, and then there's areas down that way, closer to the water and stuff. They're a little sketchy. Right?
Yeah,
There's
that's true.
some sketchy people
Yeah.
in those areas, but it's very confined.
Like
Yeah.
one of our buddies
Yeah.
lives down that sketchy part of town.
But yeah, so that's bringing it back to the music thing.
Yeah.
That's why I think I connected to it so well and so early. Like I got into it. I think I got my first rap album. Unfortunately, my first rap album was a P Diddy album. Little did we know.
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
but-
where Pidgey would be these days, right?
Yeah.
Oh well, oops. You know, stuff happens, right?
Yeah.
You know, things change, people change.
Man,
Yeah.
I think that guy's always been a piece of shit.
Well,
And
my
he
friend-
might have been, and we just
Yeah.
never knew.
That's
right?
yeah.
My buddy was working security at Pemberton Fest, whenever that was, whatever, however many years ago that was, 7 years ago, something. I can't. But anyways, it was like I think Jay-Z was there. Anyway, it doesn't matter. But P Diddy was there. He wasn't playing.
Yeah.
But he was there. And my homie goes backstage, and he's got all these young kids back there. It's like, let's see some ID.
Yeah.
And like, they're all underage, for
Yeah.
one.
Yeah.
And some of them are like, we don't have ID.
Yeah.
Like, where are you guys from? Baltimore? It's like, how did you get here?
Yeah.
With no ID?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's messed up.
Yeah, dude. So
That's
that
messed
was
up.
years ago.
Yeah.
And my homie is like, yeah, he said it was
That's weird.
It was uncool.
Yeah.
Yeah, whatever
Yeah,
was happening.
yeah.
Why are you traveling with these children?
Yeah, that's weird, dude.
Yeah, it's terrible.
Especially with no IDs, like.
Yeah, like how did that work?
Yeah.
That's just money and privilege, right?
Yeah. That's buying your way through the laws.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how the court systems work.
So who are you gonna get to produce this thing, or what are you gonna do with it?
I'm starting to think about just trying to do it myself. You
There you
know,
go.
I was looking at things, and the music scene is different from, I guess, not too long ago. You know what I mean? Like you could just get shit on Spotify. You just
Oh, yeah.
really need one song.
Oh yeah.
You know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah,
like
yeah.
you need one song to catch, and,
Yeah.
and then you've got a following.
Yeah, you could do.
You don't need a record deal.
Well, you know what you can do? You could get your idea, get it, put it down,
Yeah.
record it, and you could take it to a studio.
Yeah.
Like somebody that a good producer, engineer, and they can mix it and master it for you.
That's what I think I
Put
might
that
have
magic dust on it.
Yes.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah, and then like, you know, if you got the bulk of it,
Yeah.
they can take it and run with it, right?
I think without actually knowing it, I think that's kind of what I was leaning into.
Yeah, yes.
Because my recordings sound decent, it just doesn't have that mastering of a professional.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And I
so
think-
that's what you got to do next.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah, it wouldn't take you very much to do that.
No.
The cost wouldn't be too high.
No, and I mean, I've already got pretty much everything laid out. You
That's
just gotta
right.
master it.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
Yeah.
That's all you need. Good, mix
that's-
it, master it, and then you're on your way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anybody out there do that? Call.
Yeah, you can
Yeah.
do like a single. Like singles are good.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, do a single first.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah, because
I have one that I think I want to use as a single.
Okay.
yeah.
It's not my typical type of song. I mean, I showed you one of my songs. It's kind of politically driven. I'm not huge on the newer rap that's just not about anything. When I was first getting into it and everybody was about the cars and the rims and the bling and all of that, yeah, I was younger and chasing that kind of stuff, so it was cool. I don't care for that anymore. I want my music to count for something.
Yeah,
You know?
represent you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
not just the music I make, but the music I listen to, because what you surround yourself with, you become.
I remember when Boogie Down Productions, KRS-One played at the PNE.
No way.
Yeah, dude, it was insane.
Man,
That was good.
that would be legendary. That guy is one of the best ever for
yeah,
sure.
for real, right?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
that guy, man, like there's a message.
Yeah. Every single song.
Yeah.
Yeah, every single
Yeah.
song. I've noticed when I start writing now, I'll usually what I like to do is pick like a cliche phrase, or pick a particular word, and that has a cool way that it rolls off the tongue.
Yeah.
one of my buddies that I work with, he's one of his favorite words is copacetic.
Oh yeah.
I love that one. I was
That's
like,
a great
man,
word,
that's
yeah.
great. So can I give you a little bit of what I wrote to
Yeah,
copacetic?
Do
yeah.
it.
So the little verse that I wrote just to that word, this whole verse came from that one word. It goes, phonetically poetic, foes exposes so pathetic, trying to keep it copacetic, hope you know I won't let it. I won't ever dead it, gas it up like unleaded, the beef is like butter when I spread it. Oh, so splendid, mix it up and get it blended. I said it, so I meant it. No, I won't repent it. Don't go prophetic. Oh, I know it's so senseless. I know you won't get this. That's a strong bet, bitch. It goes on and on.
That's very good.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. The verse, I can keep going, man.
Keep going.
See, with that word, that's great.
Yeah, so
that word has a lot of rhythm to it.
it
right?
does,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And that's why I really liked it.
Yeah, it has a lot of, when you say copacetic,
It's got a nice little
Yeah, it's-
roller coaster,
Yeah,
ride,
yeah,
copacetic, right?
Yeah.
And then it's just, I don't know, I guess it's just partially reading a lot and having a good vocabulary, but just when that sound comes in, just other sounds, I'm not even looking at what really rhymes, I want it to sound the same, which is a
Right.
rhyme,
Yeah.
but I mean, when you think of like a technical rhyme, it's like, well, cat, hat,
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Orange.
door hinge.
Orange. Exactly. What was I going
Or
to
you
say?
can
What's
change
your favorite
things a little
book?
bit, porridge. My
You said
favorite
it
book.
about reading. I like it too.
Oh,
You know what you should do too, just out of curiosity? You should become a lyricist.
you know, I've
For
thought about
songs,
that. I don't know how I would get into that. I've thought
First,
about that.
first off, just have you just write a book and of lyrics
Right,
and just lyrics, and
Yeah.
then what they do is you find somebody for a song
right.
that would suit the song, and
Yeah,
then
yeah, yeah.
they would take it and they would work the lyrics because
Yeah.
you probably would do really well at that too.
I think so.
Yeah, I think you
I,
would because, like you said, because of your vocabulary.
thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I considered that because I wasn't sure. As much as I love the art, I think I would love to perform. I'm not sure I'd love the attention
Oh yeah.
if things took off. So I think
You'll find
I
out.
thought about
Yeah, you
yes,
see it as you go along.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
and I mean it wouldn't be the first time I've been exposed to that type of attention. I guess you get a lot as a fighter.
Yeah.
Right? When I went on to start getting into Muay Thai and stuff like
Let's
that.
talk about that. Let's talk about Muay Thai.
Sure.
Yeah.
Such an interesting way that I can pinpoint the exact moment my life pivoted into fighting. I was in college. I was taking recreation facility management. I was hoping to run a gym.
Yeah.
And
Sure.
in my second semester of my second year, we had a project that we had to set up a career fair for
Oh,
the
cool.
first year students. So I don't even fucking remember who I brought in, to
Yeah,
be
yeah,
honest with you.
yeah.
But I will never forget, I was sitting on this fold out table, kicking my legs off the edge of the table like a kid, just waiting for it all to be over. And one of my professors came up to me and she's like, someone brought a guy that I think you should meet. And she brought me over to this guy, Nick, and introduced me to him. And he was the manager of the Ottawa Academy of Martial Arts and was looking to start a pro MMA fight promotion. And so I became an intern for this company and I started helping them do the first show. And
This is Ottawa.
this is in Ottawa. This was so long ago that MMA wasn't legal in Ontario.
Right.
So we held, well, I shouldn't say legal, sanctioned. We didn't have
Yeah,
the proper,
sanctioned. Yeah, it was
I didn't have
sanctioned.
the proper sanctioning. So we did our shows in Quebec, but we operated out of
Whoa.
Ottawa.
That's wild. Eh?
Yeah.
Like that stuff's monster now.
It's nuts.
Yeah.
We
like
actually,
bigger than hockey big.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. We actually had the company that I was with, Rec Promotions. It no longer exists, but we were part of the facilitation of getting that sanctioning in Ontario.
Cool.
And it actually ended up backfiring on us a little bit because, well, we ended up having to do our shows in Quebec anyway because what the government did with the legislation made it impossible for us to do shows because the way that they wanted it done, they needed all of the money up front.
Oh.
And we didn't get any of our money until the ticket sales came in
Yeah,
after the show.
yeah.
We didn't pay any of our bills until after the show was done.
Right.
And that's if the show went well.
Yeah.
But so I actually started into fighting as a promoter.
Oh, cool.
The first show that we did, we were staying in a hotel. The week of the fights, we would house the out of town fighters in a hotel, and we would stay in the hotel as well, so that we were all one unit working on it. And there was a huge brawl in our conference room late one night because these two drunk French guys came into our conference room and started talking shit. I guess there was MMA signs everywhere, and I guess maybe it was at a time where that wasn't quite so recognized as what it was, because these guys had no idea what hit them. It got fucked up, man.
Imagine so.
But so we ended up going to that first show. It went well. We did pretty well on the tickets, and I thought I was going to be like ringside doing something cool. I was an intern, so I sat there taking tickets all night. Until like the last night, I got a radio call like, "Okay, I don't think anyone else is coming in. You can probably come watch a couple fights." I got to see the last fight. There was no seats. I was standing ringside in like the VIP area and just watching these two guys kick the shit out of each other. And all I could think was, I'd been arrested for this shit. These guys are allowed to do this? Like, this is awesome. The next day at work, when I went to do my internship, I asked if I could start training. And my coach Nick, who is also my boss, he would often call me a freak show because I was able to. Anyways, I got my first fight in 9 months.
Wow!
After 9 months of training.
Wow!
Now, maybe a little athletically gifted. Coming from the neighborhood, I was used to fighting. I fought all the time.
Yeah.
You know, and where we were fighting, he was like, "You better not go down, because if you go down, you might not get up." And I think that was, if anything, that might have been part of a problem with my fight career, because I took that same mindset from the street into the ring, which did me well.
Sure.
But at the same time, living in that ring in a life or death situation drains your gas tank. When there's refs, there's nobody's. People die in the ring at times, but I mean, it's not very common.
Yeah. That's like our buddy, right? Who, we're not going to name him, but we have a buddy who's a pro fighter, a boxer, and when he goes in, his coach is always telling him, "Now you want to hand back, and you've got the."
Just relax.
He's like, "I'm going to kill him."
Yeah.
That's all he wants to do.
Well, that's the same as me.
No, I'm going to knock that guy.
No, if I'm fighting, I've had several people in the gym, because I currently work at a boxing gym downtown. And
you want to shout it out?
Rumble Boxing, Yaletown, come see me. Rumble Boxing in Yaletown. Thank you. I was teaching these girls, because I teach self-defense for some stuff too.
Cool.
Muay Thai is great for that. I've trained a little bit of jiu-jitsu. I don't feel confident in being a jiu-jitsu instructor, but I know enough to teach some self-defense shit. So normally in the gym, I'm doing Muay Thai. I'm kicking, I'm boxing. People know my kicks are deadly, my punches are scary. But this guy didn't know I also knew some jiu-jitsu. And I'm just rolling around with the girls, I'm showing him how to do an armbar. And he walks by, he's like, "Fuck, you're a dangerous man." It never clicked to me before until he said that for whatever reason. But I guess I guess I kind of am.
Yeah.
Because I don't think like that, right? I'm not going out onto the street looking to hurt people.
No, you're not. You're not. It's just that when you were in the ring, you're competitive.
Oh yeah.
And then when you're competitive, you have to win, right?
Yes.
So at any cost. Right?
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah, I get that. Yeah.
I think actually martial arts did the exact opposite for me than to make you aggressive, which is crazy to think. You go start fighting people every night, and you would think maybe that makes you more aggressive. Nah, bro, it's just an outlet.
Yeah, right.
It let me get it out of my system. It let me burn off that energy. It's coming up in that neighborhood was not fun, but childhood alone was kind of ugly. So yeah.
So how many fights have you done? Like when you were doing it?
11 officially.
11.
Officially.
Yeah. Well, actually, not all of those 11 are official, if I'm going to be honest. But you know what? That drives me nuts. I don't like to talk about my record a whole lot. I won 6 of the 11.
That's pretty good.
It's not bad. But I had to retire from fighting due to multiple concussions and brain damage.
I would imagine so.
Yeah, so
it's not a sport that you're gonna last.
No, you
no,
have a short
just like any sport, really, any contact sport.
Yeah.
I mean, hockey. I'm surprised some of those guys make it as long as they do.
It's weird.
And then same in football. Football, of course, there's only so many games. Only so many games you can play.
Yeah.
In the year, because if they had to play longer, they'd be dead, half of them.
Oh yeah.
They'd be dead within years, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Oh yeah, because the contact is incredible, and what you do what you were doing, I mean, man, you definitely out to get hurt.
Oh
right?
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's one thing people I don't think appreciate is you watch like a big UFC fight, championship bout. One guy walks out broken, maybe on a stretcher. One guy walks out with a gold belt, full of smiles. Both those guys go to the hospital after.
Yeah.
Right.
Both of those fucking
right.
guys are going to the hospital.
Well, just like
because he's happy because he's got that gold, he's hurt.
Yeah.
He was
yeah.
just in a 5-minute round fight. That's 25 minutes. Let's just say how fucking phenomenal of an athlete you have to be to do that in itself.
Yeah, yeah.
I've trained MMA. I've never competed in it. It is the most brutal, exhausting thing you could ever do.
Oh, I imagine so.
It's hard enough to stand up and box or to kick. Kicking takes a whole lot more energy.
Yeah.
But then to get taken down and wrestle and then have to get back up, I'll never forget the one time I was training and I got taken down and I finally, because I was a stand-up guy, right? So if I got taken down, I was usually staying down. I had to find my way through the jiu-jitsu. But I remember one time I got up and I stood up and I just went, fuck, I was so looking forward to being able to be back on my feet and being at home. And I was just like, fuck, this sucks. I got no gas anymore. Like, it is an insane sport, man. Those
That
guys
must
are
be really-
remarkable,
yeah.
remarkable athletes.
Yeah, no, I imagine so. I mean, just when you're talking even about boxing, you know,
Yeah.
you look at some of those guys those guys that are like the heavyweights. Like,
Yeah.
Right.
That's like unreal. I mean, the force behind one of those hits, just one of those
It's
hits,
crazy.
Yeah.
and how fast it is. It's just like
Yeah.
the amount of punishment that the body will take. Like you said, they both end up in the hospital.
Oh,
after.
When you see a pro fighter hit a civilian out on the street,
Oh, it's
insane.
dude. I'll never forget.
That's just done.
I met a guy, well, I can't name his name either, but he used to be, when I was a kid, he was a Golden Gloves in BC.
Right. Yeah.
And we went to a couple parties where he was at,
Mm-hmm.
and he had a fuse,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And so one time one guy pulled a knife on him,
Oh shit.
and he just went, "Don't worry about it," right? And the guy was like this, and because the guy knew the guy could box, right?
Yeah.
And the guy just walked in, he went, whoop, knife up in the air.
Oh, yeah.
Then he came in and went counter and
Yeah.
went boom, 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 boom. Must have been like so fast.
Yeah.
It was like not even 20 seconds. You know, me talking it looked like a minute or two, but it was not. It was like 20 seconds.
Yeah.
It was really, the guy's head just went boom, boom, and then he went down, right?
Yeah.
And then the guy, was pretty stand up. He didn't go in and start, leveling the guy when he was down. He walked away, right? And then when he walked away, he was so hyped, like he looked at like you or me. He looked at me and another friend. He says, "You want that? You want some too?" And I'm going, "Whoa!" Like no.
Yeah. Not after seeing that.
No,
I don't want none of
I
that.
don't even want to talk to you right now. I'm actually gonna go and have a drink and absorb that. It's like that was a bit much, right?
That's
and then and then closing on that, I played somewhere once where it was downtown bar we were playing, and he came down and he saw me and and we're talking, and then I don't know, for some reason he got into it with somebody, of course, on the way out, and the bouncers knew him, and so they called the cops, and the cops came, and there were 4 cop cars, and they all stood back, and they all said to him, "Calm down." They called him, but they knew who he is by his name. "You need to calm down."
Yeah, they don't want to come
Because
here.
we don't want to go there.
Yeah.
But if you do go there, we're telling you we'll go there with you.
Yeah.
But we don't want you to. We want you to calm down, relax, and go home.
Yeah.
Because they didn't even want to pick a fight with him.
Well,
right?
no, they recognize if they have to put the pressure on him, one of them's going to get hurt. Probably more than one.
Oh yeah,
It's the
because
same
he's
thing
not
I was
going
saying
to. Like
before.
you said, he's not going to go down without a serious hurting somebody himself.
Yeah.
Because he's going to survive. He's into survival mode.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
I'll never forget the first time I got into a bar fight after I started training and recognized the difference between a trained individual and someone who's just a random dude on the street. So my buddy was talking to this girl at the bar. Girl goes off to the bar to get another drink. He takes off after her, gets there a little late. There's already some other guy talking to her. And he thinks he's slick, and so they're talking face to face like this, and he just slides in between them.
Oh.
So now buddy and he's giving Buddy his back. So Buddy cracks back like this to punch my buddy in the back of the head.
And it's a
Now,
girl.
well, I beat him to that punch. I don't know why I remember it like this, but I remember him pulling back like this and looking in my direction because I was standing like right next to him, and he was about to punch my buddy in the back of the head. And if you don't know, that can kill you quite easily.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
That can separate your spinal cord. Fight in any type of fighting, you were not allowed to hit in the back of the head.
Yeah, no, of course not.
So all I saw was this guy's gonna fucking hurt my friend.
Yeah.
So, boom, right cross to his jaw, he went, and I remember it was like a fucking Bugs Bunny cartoon. His eyes roll back in his head, he just goes boom, and he just falls flat.
Yeah.
Flat on his back.
Yeah.
I was terrified.
Of course you're.
I thought I killed him.
Of course you did.
The way that his head snapped and his eyes rolled back in his head and he just fell limp to the ground. I'd been in lots of fights. I'd never knocked anybody clean out one shot like that.
Yeah.
knowing-
And you're right about that because you don't know what you've probably done to the person. I did that when we were teenagers. We beat up this one guy one time who was being Mr. Know-It-All.
Yeah.
And hey, it was dirty
Yeah.
because there was 3 of us on one.
Yeah.
And the guy ended up in the hospital with
Yeah.
a concussion, right?
Yeah.
We found out, and after I found that, I went, "Wow, that's not ever happening again."
No.
I'm never getting involved in a situation like that
Yeah.
because it was you didn't know what at first you're just thinking, screw you, buddy,
Yeah.
and then at the end of it, you're going like, what did we do here, right? Because
Yeah.
the guy ended up seriously hurt,
Yeah.
right?
I put one guy in the hospital. I do not regret it because he attacked me. I was trying to break a fight up. This is in Banff. And my buddy was getting into a fight with his buddy. I was trying to break it up because my buddy was a bodybuilder. He was fucking huge.
Yeah.
So I go to pull him off of his friend. And I can only assume he thought I was jumping in. But I don't know why he would have thought that because I was grabbing my friend. But regardless, he came up from behind me and chucked me with a skateboard. And hit me with the skateboard chucks right in the face.
No.
I had this, I don't know if it's still there, but this little like brown mark of a scar on my
Right,
cheekbone
gotcha.
here because he
Right.
got me right on the cheekbone. Like he
Right.
hit me right here. Had he hit me here,
You'd be
Oh,
dead.
I could be fucking dead.
Yeah.
So I knocked him out with the first, I knocked him down with the first punch. I can't remember if he was out cold or not, but then I hit him several times after he was down because I was making sure he wasn't getting back up to do that to me again.
Yeah.
Because that like literally was a risk of my life. So
Yeah.
that was the one time I continued after I'd put the guy down, but I wanted to make sure he stayed down. Because for one thing, he snaked me from behind with a weapon.
Oh.
So I was like, this guy's fucking dangerous. He's not getting back up.
No, he's
Yeah.
bad.
Yeah. So
yeah. I tell you a quick story here. There was a guy he used to own and manage bars. I won't name his name either,
Mhm.
but he was really.
Nobody's getting named.
No, I know you gotta be careful, right? You gotta be careful.
the nameless episode.
Yeah. This guy, he's like you said, bodybuilding guy,
Yeah,
type
yeah.
guy, and huge guy, just huge, super nice guy, right? Like if you met him, you'd say, "Wow, he's fun, he's nice." And we were playing at his bar out in Chilliwack, and a couple times, and he's a big guy. He talks like this, right?
Yeah.
And so he'd go like, "Band to the bar," and then we'd stop playing. We all go and they put the spotlight on the band, and we all get like special drinks. Like, he's promoting the bar.
Yeah.
Band back on the bar and get back on stage. And so this one night, 2 incidences. We're setting up and everything for the night, and the bar's getting ready to open, and we're there early, and the DJ and him are having some joking around, right?
Yeah.
So the DJ runs up to him and kicks him in the crotch, really hard, right? And he goes like this. He goes, "Ow!" And the guy goes, the mouth just drops, right? Like he should have dropped.
Yeah.
Right? He didn't drop. I'm telling you, the guy didn't drop.
Oh,
and he
man.
looks over at me and goes, "I'm going to get you. You don't know when, where, and at what time of day or night. I'm going to get you back for that." Right?
That's terrifying.
And then he goes down on his knees. The DJ, "Do it now, please." I
Don't make me wait.
I'm really sorry.
Yeah.
And then he goes, "No, you're
Yeah.
gonna suffer."
Yeah.
And
That's
then
the
at
more
the same
terrifying
night,
part.
and then the same night I saw him at this guy cutting up at the door, and the bouncers couldn't stop me. So my buddy walks up to the owner walks up and he goes, "What's wrong?" He goes, "Whoa, whoa, whoa, whoa." He goes, "You need to leave, right?" No, he gets ready to start.
Yeah.
And my buddy goes like this is no shit. The guy was up against the wall talking, and my buddy goes between the eyes. He hits him like this with his 2 fingers, and he lifts him up. No shit. This is all true. He lifted him up off his feet, but like this.
By his eye sockets?
Eye sockets in.
Oh.
And the guy was screaming.
I bet
and
he was.
And then he let him down, and he said, "Now get the fuck out of
That's
my bar." And the
gnarly.
guy just ran.
I
Right?
bet he did.
And the bouncers were going, and I'm going like,
That's terrifying.
like you couldn't piss this guy off, right? You know, this guy was like tough as
Yeah.
nails,
Jeez.
but he was big too. Like he was
Yeah.
like 7'5", you know,
Yeah.
275 pounds, but like a built like
Brick shit house,
yeah, just I never seen a guy like that in my life. Like you know, people. But the kicking was the funny part.
Yeah.
I mean, booted him right where it
That's
counts,
crazy.
and the guy just stood there, kind of went, and he did that little ow.
Yeah.
It wasn't like oh, you know, bending.
Yeah.
It was like ow.
Yeah, no emotion.
No
just
emotion.
blank faced.
Blank face.
You gotta pay for that.
You
Yeah.
get again eventually. I don't know when, why,
Yeah.
or how. And I'm not even going to tell you how. It's
Yeah,
gonna
no,
happen.
that's the terrifying part is the living in fear and not knowing.
And I think he knew that. Like,
Oh,
my
for
buddy
sure.
knew that.
He
That's why
probably
he
had
did.
no intention to do anything.
He
to
probably
it.
wouldn't have done
No,
nothing to
yeah.
him, I don't think.
You don't need to. All you gotta do is say something like that. Yeah.
Lift him by the eye socket.
Oh
Yeah.
my God, I'm telling you,
Goodness.
that was the weirdest thing I ever saw in my life.
That's
Yeah.
so
You know?
gnarly.
You know, and and my buddy would people would walk into that bar and he would just any big guys that he knew that were, drank too much. Like my brother-in-law, one of my brother-in-laws at the time was he was 7 feet, 265 pounds. He was a truck driver, right? Big, huge guy, right? Vaughn was his name, and I'll mention Vaughn's name. And Vaughn could lift, he also delivered for truck. He'd do scrap metal, so you'd see him taking engines, lifting block engines like that, and walking over, dumping him some. And I'd go, holy shit! So Vaughn would walk into the guy's bar, and they know each other really well, and you go, "Vaughn, behave tonight." Right? Vaughn goes, even Vaughn would go,
Yeah. No problem. Yeah.
because the guy would go "I'll kill you," right? You know?
Yeah.
But,
I think if more people experienced violence in a controlled environment, such as in a martial arts gym or something like that, the world would be a much better place.
I'll go you one better, dude.
Yeah.
I think if more people had experienced violence in their lives, the world would be
true.
There's a lot of people who've never been punched in the face.
Yeah,
and it shows.
that.
man.
Yeah,
and they
need to
need a
be.
shot in the beak.
It's
It's like my buddy Nathan, who we interviewed a couple episodes ago. Anyway, he's dangerous too. But somebody was, we were working downtown. We were working at Insight, and somebody's mouthing him off being a tough guy or whatever, right? And he used this line, and I've used it 1,000 times since. The guy's lipping off that he's gonna fight him or whatever, and Nathan's not afraid at all. And he's like, "Do you think I was born with this nose?" He doesn't care. Well, what are you gonna do? Punch me in the face?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Been there.
I think it's true, man. People need to know where that line is.
you have to know. You have to be. Yeah, exactly.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I think you're right, because that's where the trouble starts, is when they don't know where the line is.
People,
100%.
just
Yeah.
think, I can just say whatever I want,
Yeah.
act however I want.
Yeah.
You can't.
And there's a lot of people like that these
Oh,
days.
yeah,
Like,
there are.
today
It's
there's a
growing,
lot.
unfortunately.
Yeah, I think so too. I think
It's-
unfortunately a lot of people that don't know the difference. I think that's also talk about that.
Yeah.
I think that also does with drugs and like with the crack and everything
Yeah.
that's out there. I think they don't know their borderline, right? And so then people don't know the difference from. They can't even respect themselves. So how can they respect anybody else? There's no line.
Yeah.
There's just no line.
Yeah.
I saw that today down here in our neighborhood. There was some lady, she was just really wiped out. You can see it.
Yeah.
And she's looking at these clothes that the guy's got them out in the store, right by the tattoo guy, right?
Yeah.
And she's looking at the clothes, and he's having to come out and go, "So which is yours clothes and which is that you picked up?" you know, and I was going like, oh, this is
Here
a
we
bad-
go.
This is a problem. Like,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
he's just gonna, you know, is this yours or is this mine? Like, you know, he's like,
Yeah.
and she's kind of like, she doesn't even know.
Yeah.
She's just looking like this, and I'm going like, wow. You don't need to be talking to somebody like that. They don't even know where they are right now, right?
Yeah.
They're just looking at something, right?
It's
Wow.
I mean, it's just down this street that it's real crazy, man. I went 2 weeks ago. I brought a backpack full of sandwiches and bottles of water to give out to people.
Oh, that's so
on
nice.
Hastings, and I bought like $50 worth of sandwiches. It got me like maybe 8 or 10 sandwiches from 7-Eleven,
Yeah,
and then
sure.
I just walked down the street and brought them out. I didn't get half a block before my backpack was empty, and and you know, I thought it was gonna make me feel really good going down there and helping people. You know, I didn't bring a fucking camera.
Yeah.
I didn't do it to post anything.
Yes,
I just
yes.
did it because it needed to be done.
And
And
you
then
feel better?
no, dude, I felt terrible
I
after.
Yeah.
put 18 years in, ruined
Yeah.
my life,
Yeah,
destroyed my life.
It's
It's
That
not-
isn't the answer.
I finished helping this small group of people with my sandwiches and water, and I look up and there's a fucking sea
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
of just dilapidated out people who
Yeah,
are just
yeah.
and like, man, I
Because
walked,
that's what we're talking about. There's no line anymore.
Yeah.
Right?
exactly.
There's no line.
Yeah.
So when there's no line, people, that goes with like you say, that's probably really good about like you're saying about going to the gym and learning.
Yeah.
Like that people learn that kind of stuff.
Mhm.
They learn where the line is
Yeah.
in their lives and what
Yeah.
they can cross and what they can't do, right?
Yeah, I mean, aside from, you know, the experiencing violence and learning those lines, it gives you a lot of discipline.
Yes.
If you're gonna get any kind of good at anything, you need to put in the time, and
Yeah.
to
Play
So
guitar,
true.
play the keyboard.
Yeah.
Sing.
yeah, anything, right?
anything, yeah.
Now with martial arts, you're training your body. It's hard. I remember getting on the bus to go to training because I was in college at the time, and the whole bus ride there thinking, fuck, what am I doing? I'm going to this place where I'm gonna get the shit kicked out of me for the next 3 hours. Like literally 3 hours of getting my ass kicked. But I would dread going there. I would love doing the training, and then when I left, I was lighter. I was
Yeah.
light on my feet, man. I felt
Good.
great. You know what I mean?
Now,
All that energy.
now, speaking of discipline
Mhm.
and practice
Yeah.
and dedication, all that stuff, let's talk about barbering.
Yes, let's bring it around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nobody gets beat up at, well, won't name who. Somebody did get beat up at the barbershop. That's probably not going to happen again. No, he won't be back anyway. Anyway, let's talk about that. How'd you do? What happened there, man?
Oh man,
'Cause
so
it's cool, right? Like barbering's a killer
it's
job.
a sweet gig, man.
Yeah, it's a nice lifestyle.
You know, I'm just getting into it, so I got to build up a little bit, but it's kind of funny how life happens, right? So I've been a boxing coach ever since having to retire from fighting,
Right.
or Muay Thai coach, fight coach, and just this year I've been hit by 2 cars in this city.
Oh, no, please
And-
don't go there on that. Yeah.
Yeah,
People
so
drive like crazy.
they just don't pay
See,
attention.
there's here we go around full circle. No
Yeah.
line.
Yeah.
They don't know. I had
In
somebody.
China.
In China. I was crossing the other class yesterday up by the
Yeah.
Laughing Bee.
Yeah,
I'm crossing, and somebody wants to hang a left or whatever it is.
right.
And they're coming because they're worried there's cars coming.
Yeah.
And I'm walking and they almost hit me, right?
Yep.
And I yelled at them. I stopped and I yelled at them. I says, "Hey, I got the right of way. There's the green light."
Yeah.
And they're going, "Yeah, but there's cars coming." That's
That's-
your problem.
yeah, that's
You're
not my
not
problem.
supposed to go then.
Yeah.
You got to judge the distance between
Yeah.
where the cars are and where you are. Because if
Yeah.
you think you're going to rush and there's pedestrians coming, you can't hit the pedestrians. And you
Yes.
can't expect the pedestrians to stop for you
Yeah.
when they have the green light.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened to me this last time.
Yeah, stupid.
Guy he was trying to make the light and just wasn't looking and clipped me.
Yeah.
But so because of the injuries I sustained from that, I don't think I'm going to be able to hold pads for people very much, if at all, anymore. The doctor told me to not do it. So funny story about how I went from fighting into barbering. I was walking up to the gym here because I live a few blocks this way.
Yeah.
Doing physio for those injuries, and it had always been in like the end game plan for me. It was going to be a retirement thing. I was going to open up a barbershop and you know, just live the casual barber life.
Me too.
It's a good lifestyle.
Yeah,
right?
dude.
So when I was kind of forcibly retired from just doing fucking teaching boxing, I was like, well, why not jumpstart the retirement plan? I'll just get into that. So I'm walking to physio, to do the physio, and I walk by this place. And I look inside, I'm like, oh fuck, that's a dope barber shop.
It is.
It is a really dope barber shop.
Sir?
The leather couches, the motorcycle pictures, the rock and roll.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
this is what I want to open. This is exactly what I want. But I kept walking. I was going to physio. I had somewhere to be. Now, I've become a little religious as of late. I don't like to say religious. I'm not religious.
You're spiritual.
I'm spiritual.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
believe in religion. Religion is used in negative ways.
Yeah.
But so I get maybe two or three doors down from this place, and I hear a voice in my head, and it says to go back in there. So I turned around and I came, and Ash was here, and so I sit in the chair with Ash, and he starts doing me up, and I start telling him my story about how I got hurt, and how I think I'm going to do barbering, and how I'm going to go to this big, fancy, expensive school, and he's like, well, Jeff here, he designed the program at that school you're about to go to. You should just come train with us.
Yeah.
Saved me almost $5,000.
Oh, yeah.
Fucking thank you.
Yeah.
By the way, saved me $5,000.
Yeah.
There you go.
And yeah, the rest is history. So I started training. I've gone through the classes. I'm now into, I guess, apprenticeship.
Yeah.
Very basically.
Yeah.
So yeah, trying to chop up some hair now. So that's a bit of the progression and where I'm going
nice.
now. Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
It is
That's
a nice
really
place to land. It's a
Yeah.
nice
It
place
is.
to land.
A brilliant neighborhood. I've never been so happy in this city until I moved into this neighborhood.
It's
I've
the
got a
best.
garden, and it's really nice. And this place is a little home away from home, just a few blocks from home.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. That's good.
Because I moved away from my friends and my family. I moved here during COVID. That's a whole other ugly, huge part of my life. But I owned a gym throughout COVID.
Oh, that must have been tough.
I opened the gym 2 months before the first lockdown. So
Oh,
Oh
Ontario.
my God.
yeah.
That's really tough.
That's a
Yeah.
harsh
The only thing that kept the gym running was loyalty from my student body, because before I opened the doors, I had about 20 or 25 students that trained with me. I was just basically working off of this other gym's mats and getting paid a wage to teach my classes there. But then I ended up partnering up. So we opened 2 months before the first lockdown.
That's too bad.
And luckily, most of my students,
Stayed with you.
they stayed, and we offered discounted memberships to do like an online thing, and we just taught online courses, which in itself was fucking heartbreaking, because I had just spent the previous 7-8 months building this gym. We had rented a little retail spot. We had to redo all of the drywall because they had all these like speckle boards or whatever, all these pin boards and
Oh,
shit.
yeah,
So I
yeah.
had to do all of the drywall. So we did the drywall ourselves. I had one of my buddies put up the change rooms. We built change rooms. We built the mat space. Like, we basically built this martial arts gym from the ground up. And then 2 months later, I'm coming in to teach to a fucking screen on a wall in this beautiful brand new gym I just built. It was heartbreaking.
Brutal, dude.
Yeah. But most of my students still paid. A lot of them, maybe not a lot, a few of them offered to still pay full member dues
That's nice.
to keep the gym running. So I was super thankful for that. My business partner ended up being a total piece of shit and screwing me out of it, but the gym is still running. But
now you're out here.
now I'm out here.
And then, yeah.
Yeah,
So
and
you're-
bigger, better things.
Yeah.
On to way bigger, better things. You know,
Way to go.
I did a little acting when I got out here with my Muay Thai skills. Did some stunt work for the Vancouver Canucks.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. That was a
That's
pretty
very
video.
cool.
Yeah, man. Yeah. That video. It was. I was played a bad guy in the intro video to the 2022 season. You can see that video on YouTube.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just the Vancouver Canucks intro video where the premise is they made it into like a full blockbuster movie type of thing where all the hockey players are superheroes and they're trying to get this. I think it was like a hockey card back. They needed this hockey card, or they couldn't win the cup or something like that. And so it's like this whole like secret agent type of thing.
So clearly the Canucks did not get that.
They
card.
didn't get the card.
No.
Nope, they did not get that
Never
card.
get that card.
I played the bad guy in that. I got the card.
That's good.
Congratulations on winning the Stanley Cup.
There you go.
It's funny, you can't actually hear anything, but I got one of the only speaking parts as one of the stunt guys.
Oh, that's even better.
Because I was the only one who looked like he actually killed someone before. The director was a buddy of mine. He said that in front of the other stunt guys. There was, I think, 4 or 5 of us. And I laughed. I was like, don't talk about that in front of people.
But that could be a career too.
You know what? I thought about doing that.
You don't have to do like heavy duty stunts.
Well, that's what I was thinking, right? But it's hard enough to break into that,
It's very hard.
let alone stipulating all of these limitations as
The
a stunt
thing,
guy.
it's like any other business. It's people you know.
Yeah.
You have to kind of filtrate
100%.
to the people you know.
Yeah.
And that's the only way you get in the door. But yeah.
Yeah.
But
you
you
know
got
what?
a perfect promo.
I do.
That's
100%. I could still pursue it. It's still in the back of my mind. The reason why I didn't really chase it was the industry itself.
Yeah.
The people aren't real.
No, it's so up and down too.
and it's very up and down.
Very up and down. So like I didn't believe it until like I saw it. It's just like
Yeah.
sometimes it's feast or famine in that
Yeah,
industry.
for sure it's that, and then
Yeah.
and then there's also for sure, like the big, like Javier was saying to us, right? Like if you're working on this big, like this city runs on Hallmark and whatever, and Blockbusters and MOWs and all this stuff.
Yeah.
But then there's this other half of it that Javier was talking about, and like the girls who made that movie with me, who we're gonna get in here, Jasmine and Mel, and Red Number 40, which will premiere next week, I think. Anyway, those guys talk about movie making the way that me and my friends talk about punk rock.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I love this record. They're like, I love that movie. I'm gonna make one of those myself.
Yeah.
They're like, I'm gonna make one of those myself.
Yeah.
Get the thing and go, I'm gonna figure this out. And they're like, I'm gonna figure this out.
Yeah.
And it's full on punk rock, guerrilla, go.
Yeah.
Like, we're just doing this.
Yeah.
Like we'd just play anywhere, just empty garage. Let's go, get some kids in there, get a keg of beer.
Yeah.
Everybody pays $3. Let's go. And those
Yeah.
guys are the same way,
Yeah,
man.
that's awesome.
It's wicked. And it's that whole thing where the whole world can. 5 minutes, Johnny.
Yeah. He's trying to get in.
It's my buddy Johnny Brown. He wants in, but he's locked out. Should I let him in and tell him to shut up?
Yeah, just let him in. Tell him we'll be another.
Good thing I trained Muay Thai. You just smashed that metal thing into my shin.
Oh,
Yeah, it's alright. I don't got no feeling there anymore. It's all good.
I didn't recognize you with
But yeah, it's the
with the fucking Barbie hair, dude.
Hang on there. We're live here.
we're doing a podcast.
These are all
You're in
live.
front of one of the cameras, bro.
There's
4.
We have a guest.
Yeah.
So, anyways, we'll wrap it up.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
so you're down at Yaletown with.
I'm at Rumble Boxing as a boxing and strength coach now. I'm more of a strength coach. That's another thing. I'm a very reputable strength coach. I was coach for the Tokyo Olympics for Brianna Hennessy.
Oh, wow.
Brianna Hennessy is now competing in the Paralympics in Paris. So
Cool.
Brianna, good luck.
Wow.
I got your back as always. I coached her through the Tokyo Olympics as her strength coach. So come see me down at Rumble Yaletown for your strength training.
That's good.
Come see us down
I might
here.
end up coming down there.
I'd love that, dude.
Yeah.
Come see me. For sure. We'll set that up after. We'll
Yeah. And we'll go from there. So, and then you're going to get your rap thing going.
I'm going to get the rap thing going.
You gotta do that.
My rap name is Traps. Because of these. Because of these fucking monstrous traps.
Because you're also a bit of a lucha libre.
I'm a bit of a, I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
I don't know what you're talking about.
No,
but,
that could possibly be.
But there was a guy who looks a lot like me with
He's
very
got
similar
really
tattoos.
tattoos and
Very
traps.
similar at
Who gives
tattoos
a
and
lucha
traps,
libre?
and who happens to be a luchador. Yeah.
So good.
Awesome. That was such a great idea for the
That was
commercial.
fun.
Thank you
Anybody
very
wants
much,
to come
guys.
down, come to Republic of East Vancouver. Chris hangs around here. Joe's
does.
here all the time.
We'll
I
talk
come
to-
occasionally.
Yes, we'll talk to you soon. Next time on the Red Couch.
Saudi Cup.
Thanks.